Good evening, Commonwealth, and thanks for watching the Channel 2 News. I'm Ashley McDowell. Let's take a look at tonight's top stories. A jury has reached a verdict in federal court today involving a female harboring an illegal alien. Also tonight, DPS is seeking your help in finding a male suspect involved in a robbery with a knife. And Governor Torres speaks on the time frame the CNMI is facing with the CW process. In sports, our Friday night special sees one squad ascend to the top. Stay with us, these stories and more are next.
"48 hours. That's all we get in a week. But those 48 hours, we try to make them last forever. How? By filling in fast with all the right stuff. With a lot of laughter, a little drama, some adventure, and a whole lot of love."
Dad, Mom's here.
It happens pretty quick,
Bye, Dad.
but it's cool. Because the rest of the week, we talk about our plans
You want to go to the beach?
on how to make the next 48 hours last us a lifetime.
Green sea turtles and hawksbill turtles call the Mariana Islands home. They're an important part of the marine ecosystem. They are under threat, and they are protected under CNMI law. Keep plastic out of the ocean. Keep vehicles off the beach. Use the Sea Turtle Stranding Hotline if you see poaching activities or if you see a turtle in trouble. Call 287-8537 and save a turtle.
Hafa Day, Tirawami, and good evening, Commonwealth. Today is Monday, September 9th, 2019. A female was found guilty by a jury in federal court today to count one of harboring an illegal alien. USA versus Lily Zhang Taidingo. Lily Zhang Taidingo was facing count one of harboring an illegal alien. According to court documents, around 2013, Lily Taidingo and her husband Freight Taidingo are accused of harboring, concealing, and shielding from detention a Chinese child to avoid their detection by immigration authorities. Today in court, the defense attorney Bruce Berline gave his closing arguments, stating the I-94 is vague and that the Department of Homeland Security, U.S. Customs and Border Protection Officer Ronald Munoz testimony is unreliable. The government, on the other hand, gave their closing arguments, stating that Taidingo had knowledge about immigration and that Officer Munoz was doing his job and is reliable, and that the date on the I-94 is clear for when the minor was supposed to leave the island. The jury took about 2.5 hours to deliberate before finding Lily Taidingo guilty. Defense lawyer Berline says they will be filing an appeal.
We'll probably file some kind of post-trial motion, and there'll be an appeal. There's always an appeal in these, and it'll go up to the Ninth Circuit. So she's at liberty, and that's good. The government didn't move for any kind of detention. We're happy about that. So we'll just go to the next level.
Chief Judge Ramona Manglonia has set a sentencing for Lily Taidingo on November 15th at 9 a.m. The fiscal year budget of 2020 Senate version was passed by the House of Representatives last Friday and now passes on to the governor for approval.
Ivan Blanco from the House of Representatives tells KSPN what some of the possibilities with the proposed budget are.
At USCIS and U.S. Labor, I know they're working closely with the administration and our U.S. Congress to grant a 240 days extension for our contract workers. if that is not granted, then we have to look at the budget again and how that might affect our projections for 2020. If the 240 days extension is not granted, then we're looking at having a lot of our contract workers, required to go back home. That would affect some of our businesses. They may shut down. That would affect our construction industry, and definitely will affect our projections for FY20. So we're hoping that the 240 days will be extended.
Blanco says the USCIS and the U.S. Labor are working very hard together, but time is fast approaching and the island may experience big changes if things do not pull through.
So we hope that such will be granted before September 30th. If not, then the mass exodus will severely impact us.
Senator Sixto Igisomar reassures the public that the budget was carefully assessed as they work closely with the administration and that funds are balanced. Austerity in 2020, Igisomar tells KSPN more.
I believe that the initial question that was asked, or one of the questions that was asked on the Senate floor prior to passing the budget from the Senate side, was whether the budget was balanced. Our answer was yes. As per the Secretary of Finance's review on revenue resources and expenditures, it's a balanced budget. And of course, it took us a while too, as I was stating earlier, to pass the budget on the Senate side, because we worked closely with the Senate in trying to make sure that the numbers he was giving us with respect to revenue collection, anticipated revenue collection and resources and expenditures, and whether we're going to have an austerity. And he said, of course not. The way the budget was presented to us was based on his reduction of revenue projection, which I believe he went 10-15% reduction from the current. And so he said he's pretty much conservative. He's very conservative, and he's firm that the revenue generation based on the governor's, with our recovery efforts and having the business come back online, it should be okay.
The Senate states they are more actively engaged than before and will be a lot better in their judgment so that the CNMI won't fall into a crisis. Reporting from the legislature, I'm Sally Limis for KSPN2 News.
Thank you, Sally. The Department of Public Safety is seeking your help in locating a suspect in a robbery incident involving a knife that took place at the Satinde department store. On Sunday, September 8th, around 9:55 a.m., CNMI DPS were called to the Satinde department store in Chalankanoa, where the caller stated she was near the entrance of the store when a young male pulled a knife on her and demanded money. The suspect is described as a medium-built male that is around 5'6" and was wearing a black hoodie with a pink logo on front, along with gray shorts at the time of the incident. DPS states the suspect continued to hold the knife to the victim as the victim removed money from the register and placed it on the counter. The suspect took the cash and told the victim, quote, "Don't go out. If you go out, I'm going to kill you," end quote. The suspect then fled south. If you have any information regarding the robbery incident at Satinde department store, call 911, or to remain anonymous, call CNMI Crime Stoppers at 234-7272. The deadline for the CW renewal application is September 30th, and if employers are not able to make that, employees under the CW renewal petitions still with the U.S. Department of Labor would have to exit the CNMI come October 1st. Governor Ralph Torres says the time frame the CNMI is facing with the process is being addressed in the CNMI office in Washington, D.C.
Our Washington office continue to work with the White House and address the shortfall of our time frame. We are sensitive on it. I do know that they'll be meeting sometime this week again to press on the issue of September 30. I do know that there's some applicants also on regards to private sectors that has not turned in their applications on time. So there are some issues that we need to address, and we're trying to address that accordingly.
Over the weekend, a group of people gathered in downtown Garapan to protest, asking for greater democracy, bringing the demonstrations from Hong Kong to the streets of Saipan. Protesters were holding signs stating, quote, "Free Hong Kong," causing some controversy. Take a listen.
Free Hong Kong! Yeah.
You want to see my sign? Well, no. Don't videotape me. Get away from me.
This is the news. This is the news.
No, this is the news. Get away from me.
No, this is the news.
No, I don't know who you are, but I'm the news to these guys. I'm free in Hong Kong. I don't know who you are. I'm Hong Kong.
佢哋控控，推翻中共，打倒共產黨，打倒習近平，佢哋控控，佢哋控控。
These signs read, quote, overthrow the CCP's authoritarian dictatorship, establishing China's democratic constitutional government. And the Communist Party of China is the most corrupt and evil organization in the world, end quote. The pro-democracy protests have been going on in Hong Kong for several months. Coming up, we learn how to keep the memories alive and protect the importance of them. Find out more after the break.
Get the phone plan you're looking for at IT&E. Stay connected with the strongest, widest, and most reliable network in the Marianas. Stream, share, play, shop, and surf the web with super fast 4G LTE data. Whether you need just a few gigabytes of data to get by, or if you want to go further with unlimited data, there's a plan for you. You'll always get the best price. Visit any IT&E store or call us to learn more. IT&E. Explore your world.
Mina's Green Gala is set for Friday, September 13th at Fiesta Resort and Spa. Tickets, $75 for a fun night to celebrate the environment. Grand prize raffle drawing for one economy class ticket to anywhere United Airlines flies. Please call Mina at 233-7333 or email them.
Welcome back to the Channel 2 News. Remembering and preserving the history of the Marianas is important for the people today and the future generations to come. This is the aim of the CNMI's Humanities Council by holding their 4th Oral History Workshop of this month. KSPN's Sally Lemus has more.
Presented by Arlete Steffi from Guam and Dr. Jessica Jordan, who grew up on Saipan. This workshop intends to bring the community together on how to develop skills on how to properly document historical events and learning to evaluate them.
Not many people's personal stories or personal recollections of events are documented in our history books. So as a council, we feel it's important that we bridge that gap by giving the general public, empowering them with the skills to reach out to their parents, to the elders within their family or community, or even their peers, right? Because we have a history, people younger than me have a history all unto themselves, to empower them to be able to record our memories of those events, but also to know how to document it in a way that can make it accessible and broaden our understanding of our history beyond textbooks.
Arlene Santos Steffi explains that the human interaction plays a vital role in documenting historical events.
Oral history is a personal account of an individual's historical memories. So a historic event is an event that happened in the past, and a historical event is a memory of a person that experienced the event in the past. As we've exhausted the documentation, the narratives that have been written down, we, in our search for a better understanding of our past, we go to the human. We go to the person that survived a particular event or experienced a particular event.
University professor Jessica Jordan expresses the importance of oral history, especially here in the CNMI.
You know, there are so many great stories that people have here, you know, that we hope that we'll give them some tools at the workshop to be able to go out and record, stories that they heard their grandparents telling growing up, or stories that even, friends today, younger generations as well, have about life here, because so much of what is valuable knowledge about a community and a people is not in books or other sources. And so the oral history method captures those insights and those details of history that otherwise have no way to know them or no way to express them.
Participants of the workshop found this helpful with their line of work and for those especially interested in collecting the memories of the elders.
For those of you out there who are interested in this kind of thing, who value culture and tradition and preservation of these things, and knowing that Pacific Islanders are predominantly oral historians, oral history people, I would highly suggest a workshop like this, for whether it's for work purposes or for personal reasons, or because you want to keep your traditions alive, and pass it on to your children, future generations. It's definitely highly recommended.
Thank you, Sally. On Guam, Governor Lou Leon Guerrero says the two efforts to pay war claims can be done without the drama. KUAM reports.
Buenas CNMI, here's your Guam news update. We can do both without the drama is the essential message from the governor about two efforts to pay war claims.
Governor Lou Leon Guerrero says the pause on her move to pay war claims locally is just that, a pause. It doesn't mean the effort is dead in the water. MAGA Haga Leon Guerrero saying the intent and the reason for the local legislation authorizing payment of war claims is noble.
And the impetus behind that is, it's 75 years, Chris, of liberation. Our uncles are getting older, and I feel that we need to advance those payments, working with the White House, working with the Congress.
The local effort falling on its face after Guam delegate Michael St. Nicholas in a teleconference before the legislature's Committee of the Whole implored senators to back off and let him do his job. The governor had expressed disappointment at senators caving to St. Nicholas, and in two recent letters to U.S. Senate leadership, she expressed support for St. Nicholas's H.R. 1365, while also mentioning her local effort. The governor telling KUAM News her push to pay claims locally was never about stepping on the congressman's toes.
We have not really impeded in any of the efforts that he's making. I just want to make that very clear. This is a complementary effort to what he is doing, and I have written to him asking him to be united on this effort and not see it as a competition or an obstacle, because I don't.
The governor tells KUAM if either effort or both are to pass, elected leaders are going to have to put in the work.
I see it as, hey, let's work together. You get from the congressional level and I can get from the administrative White House level and work in concert for the purpose of our uncle, for the survivors, and that should be the unifying agenda, nothing else. It's not who's going to take the credit or who's going to, work harder. I think we all have to work harder. The legislature, our executive administration, and of course, Congressman Nicholas.
Governor Leon Guerrero planning a trip to Washington, D.C. in October, where she says she'll hit the ground running, lobbying to get claims paid quicker, whether it's through federal legislation, local legislation, or both.
I have a lineup of people that I want to meet. Of course, Senator Graham, who the bill is in the Senate level, and Senator Lisa Murkowski, Senator Feinstein, who's the ranking member in the committee, Judiciary Committee, where the bill is at, and of course Senator Elizabeth Warren. I'm making appointments to meet with them. So I'm very encouraged that it's really just a technical correction. So it's not anything about where's the money going to come from, or are these claims adjudicated? That's all been done.
For Guam's News Network, Chris Barnett reports.
Remember baseball? We were so stoked to see a game Saturday, and you can see it too in the KSPN2 Sports Report next.
faster, easier to use. With live TV, recordings, video on demand, and streaming apps all in a single place. When you're looking for something new, recommendations are tailored to you. Voice-powered, personalized results to find what you want faster. And the unlimited potential of smart home. The new experience from TiVo is here.
Welcome to Channel 2 Health Talk. I'm Dr. Tony Stearns of Marianas Medical Center. I recently read an article on CNN.com that had what I think are some really interesting and helpful ideas about eating habits and weight loss. At the Cornell Food and Brand Lab in Ithaca, New York, Professor Brian Wansik studies how people behave around food. He believes that we are pretty much powerless to ignore the pull of the candy jar, the food buffet, and the snack cupboard. He says that with something that's very visible, every time we see it, we have to make a decision. Do I want to eat that? Do I not want to eat that? Do I want that candy on my desk or do I not want it? We can say no 20 times, but if it's visible, the 21st or the 22nd or whenever, we start saying maybe. And by maybe the 30th or the 31st time, we start saying, what the heck, I'm hungry, and it gets eaten. In a similar way, convenience also tends to do the same thing. If it's really convenient and there's nothing to stop us from reaching out and grabbing something, we'll continue until something tells us to stop. Unfortunately, that something is often when the container is empty. The 100-calorie containers of chips or cookies work to help 70% of people eat less. When they finish the container, they pause and ask themselves whether they want more. He has also found you'll eat more if you're eating family style with the serving bowls on the table, if you're eating directly from the bag or carton, if you're eating on a bigger plate or from a bigger container, or if you're eating in front of the television, in the car, and with friends. Even if we all know about the mindless eating, Wansik says we can't help ourselves. He's proven this point by giving a 90-minute class to graduate students about eating more from larger containers, and then secretly observing them at a Super Bowl party 6 weeks later. His solution? Surrender. Accept that you will give in to temptation and eat mindlessly. By observing these suggestions, you'll find it much easier to eat better and to lose weight. Thanks for joining me. I'm Dr. Tony Stearns of Marianas Medical Center. Have a healthy week.
Buenas sports fans. Buenas sports fans. Slowly but surely, the contendas are separating from the pretendas in the AK Toyota MIBL League. Both IT&E in black and the Caravan Marauders in white know how it feels to win in this league, but one of these teams would have to know how it feels to lose. All right, Prince Factor, he finds Castro for the floater. Garay and the Marauders were rallying. They closed to within 8 in the first half. In this MHS gym action, anyone coming here to cool off, forget it, you're in the wrong place. The Marauders with 3 consecutive buckets after Castro returns the favor to Factor. Elmer Estrelon sees Errol Paredo open down court, heaves it down there, and Bart Dampon with the give and go, and IT&E has the connection. Factor this, he almost loses his valuable possession, recovers it, and then puts it in the bank for safety purposes. Well, patient pays off. You don't believe me? Just ask Sidney Kwan, who would like to point out that no one was covering Darwin Barbo. And it was back to a 5-point lead for IT&E. Josh Andrew finds Kwan for a give and go. That doesn't work. But Alex Standish, he's a window cleaner. All right, it's break time. Andrew, up and in. Sean Rabassa to J. Mark de Guzman. Oh, that would have been the top play of the week, but it won't be. Standish with the reverse attempt. Andrew cleans up this time, and the game was tied late in the first half. But Raffles with the inside position for the Bunny. IT&E simply too strong, too young, too fast, and they broke open the game and win 77-52, and it was hard for Caravan fans to witness that second half. She could watch it. All right, one could say every Saipan Baseball League game these days is just getting ready for the postseason. That's because there are only 4 teams remaining in the league, and the top 4 teams make the playoffs. How about that? After GSM scored twice in the first inning, Lorenzo Sabachlum sets down the Blue Jays 1, 2, 3. Hard throwing righty Noel Cabrera dealing for the Jays. Verlander Charmadal with the bunt to the third baseman. Ferlin Camacho fields it and tosses it back to the pitcher. Hey, why is the manager playing third base anyway? Because he didn't have any choice. Nobody else in the dugout. Franco Nakamura with the broken back grounder to Josnio Alvarez, who guns him down. He's got a rifle for an arm. With runners on the corners, Cabrera gets a swing and a miss in the frame.
So the two score remains 2-0 GSM.
Ariel Mendiola tries to get rid of the goose egg. He smacks a solid single to center. He's doing his part. But Ariel didn't want a single. He wanted a double. Well, you don't always get what you want. That goes as a single and a force out in the scorebook, in case you're wondering. So Blackham bears down. He gets a swing and a miss. Furlan at the plate. There's a hot shot that makes first baseman Byron Kaipat eat grass. Oh, give Camacho a hit and a kick and a handshake. Oh, that sure helps the old batting average. Well, he put himself into scoring position. Notice the shortstop holding him close like he was a threat to steal. Oh, well, Sabachlum gets another K. GSM sets down the Blue Jays with another scoreless inning. It's okay. Both teams going to the playoffs. All right, outfield better back up for Byron Kaipat. The fly ball over the head of the left fielder rolls all the way to the fence, 385 feet away from home plate for a stand-up two-bagger. Manny Sablon, a liner to right. Oren Cruz, oh, he can't get his glove on it, and that goes as an RBI double. Byron touches the dish. Diego Camacho follows with a drop-in single to left field.
Base hit to left.
The bases were juiced. Verlance, a potential ground ball, double play. It was booted. Ah, Manny scores. GSM goes on to win this one, 7-4.
Here's the windup and the pitch.
I don't believe what I just saw.
Let's roll at Gold's Gym Saipan with group exercise for every body. Total Resistant Exercise, or TRX, helps develop your core and improve strength. And Zumba toning is probably the funnest way to get fit. The Shake Cafe is a great place to stop by for a meal replacement or supplements. Today is the first day of the rest of your life.
Traveling or laying over on Guam? Don't wait around. Zip into Guam Adventures Zipline Park inside the Hilton Resort and Spa. Guides will take you through a series of zips, starting with a mountain course and then zip over the ocean with spectacular views of Tumon Bay. 6 zip lines in all deliver a thrilling experience, and it's family friendly, so bring the kids ages 6 and up. You'll love the security of double lines and a new braking system to make riding smoother. The towers are named after the islands in the Marianas. We call it the Island Hopper. Your guides will teach you what you need to know to soar through the jungle with a bird's eye view. Best of all, for residents of Saipan, Tinian, and Rota, you can book this experience at 20% savings. Log on to GuamAdventures.com And during checkout, use offer code HOFFA20. Book it and zip it today. We'll even pick you up. All right, there's a monsoon trough near Guam, and there's an upper level trough north of Saipan. So expect a wet week up to 5 inches. In fact, the high 88, low 81 today. The heat index 103 at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, right before the rain. Hard rain came. Tomorrow, more rain, south winds 15 to 20, high around 85, low 79. Seas are 4 feet now, but they'll be building as this rough weather comes in, up to 9 feet by tomorrow. Sunrise 6:05 Tuesday, low tide 11:29, sunset at 6:23.
All right, thank you, Bob, for that weather
Hope
report.
you didn't get wet.
Yeah,
I got a little wet.
Me too. And thank you for watching. Have a great rest of your night. Tune in tomorrow night at 6.
Good night.